think and discuss how would the fountains have worked. So as we see, there are always fountains on the terrace area, and these fountains used to keep cool whoever would want to sit on that area. So these fountains usually work from the principle of siphoning. Siphoning, am I using the right word? Uh, Basically, siphon means that you store water in a higher above area. So if it's rainfall, so you store the water in a pool or in a tank that is higher above the ground, and then you use these tanks and these walls to let the water pass through like this. Let the water pass through into the fountains that are laid on the terrace. So if this is the terrace and there is a fountain here, so the water would push itself through the wall into the fountain, and then the water would spurt around like this. Okay, so this is the functioning of a fountain. So they use siphon method. Okay, this is called siphoning. What arrangement would have been made in the building for air and light? So for air and light, there were large windows. This is the only way because there was no electricity in that time. So there were large windows and open areas. There were a lot of open areas, verandas, balconies, and all these areas meant that more light can come through, more light can come inside whenever uh, there's morning, there's day, and obviously when there was night, they had to use lamps. So for air and light, these four arrangements were usually seen. Look carefully at the picture of the beautiful carving on the wall. What kind of tools would have been used for such a fine carving? So as you can see, this is probably a carving in the marble. And when carving in marble, you have to take care that slight slip of your tool will cause the whole thing to crack. So to prevent that, these craftsmen, the people that knew how to work through these marbles, these craftsmen were brought in from different countries, from far off lands. They were paid very heavily to work on these. So they were these small tools like chisels that we use now, but these chisels were very fine tip chisels and small, very lightweight hammers to chisel away each and every block, each and every hole through this marble. So it was a very lengthy work. It was very time consuming. It was very, what should I say? It involved a really intense kind of work, an intense kind of attention to detail while working on this. I'm not finding the right word for it, but it's actually, till this day we don't have any machines to do this. Till this day we use craftsmen for this, and it is very fine work. It is very detailed. We still do not have any electricity at many places in our country. Even at places which do have electricity, imagine what would happen if there was no electricity for 1 week. So imagine there was no electricity for 1 week at your place. What are the things that would be difficult to manage without it? First of all, food in the fridge. What would happen to all the food and vegetables and fruits and chocolates and ice creams and anything that is in your fridge? Food in the fridge would go bad. First thing happens. Second thing, it would be very hot in summers. It would be very cold in winters. It would be very damp in rains, and nothing can help you from it because our lives are all revolving completely around this fact that electricity is there to help us for everything. If it's hot, we have ACs for it. If it's cold, we have heaters for it, and if it's damp, we use fans and we use all kinds of things to keep our clothes dry, right? So our lives revolve around electricity, but this did not happen before, but now it's inevitable. So what are the things that would be difficult to manage without it? I think first of all, temperatures are impossible to manage without it. Then there is food that cannot be really helped. You have to keep everything fresh around you, and you have to take care of all these things. What other things are hard to manage? All our electronics. It's quite simple as that. All our electronics are hard to manage. Electronics involve all the laptops, all the mobile phones. So if there's no electricity for one whole week, all these mobile phones will get discharged, all our laptops would get discharged, each and everything. There would be no TV, no radios, and basically all the things that we see and use around in a day are going to get discharged in the time of a week, right?